All right. Greetings and welcome once again to Life's Knowledge Cipher, where we explore health and wellness from a truly holistic perspective. Here we believe in healing is multidimensional, it's mind, body, and soul, and every episode is designed to empower you on your wellness journey. Through insightful monologue and in-depth interviews with wellness professionals and practitioners and community experts, we're going to break down information that helps our community thrive. Some episodes are pre-recorded, but when we go live, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Join in, ask questions, and share your thoughts through the link that we're going to provide in the chat. So we also invite you to stay connected by signing up for our Oasis of Wellness newsletter, your monthly source for tools and tips and inspiration to support your holistic well-being. And you can go to our website, that's knowforlife.net. knowforlife.net, and we have articles there, we have merchandise there, we have videos there, and so much more. And be sure to follow us on our YouTube channel and all of our platforms. And all you need to do is just type in that symbol, that @ symbol, on whatever platform you're on, and just type in Know for Life. That's KNOW, the number 4 LIFE. So you never miss an episode. So Knowledge Cipher is powered by Knowledge for Life. And of course, we're a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and we always need your support. You can help us by sustaining our mission by becoming a monthly donor or by purchasing our merchandise to promote health and wellness in our community. And I'll just show you, for instance, one of the merch that we have right now, and it's powerful. And that is our t-shirt on Made in His Image and After His Likeness. I don't know if you can't probably see the whole. There you go. Made in His Image and After His Likeness. If you're on YouTube, you can see a lot of that down at the bottom in that merchandise section. But every contribution that you give helps us to educate, empower, and uplift our community. If your organization would like to become an underwriter, just please contact me at knowforlife@yahoo.com. And this is Knowledge Cipher, where information becomes empowerment and wellness becomes a way of life. So what I wanted to do before we bring on our guests, I wanted to talk a little bit to you about domestic violence within our community. So I'm going to put this PowerPoint up and just go over a few things, and then we're going to go ahead and bring on our guest. So as you can see, domestic violence, let me go ahead and let's see here. Click on this slideshow. And so 1 in 3, as you can see, 1 in 3 women, and I'm waiting for this screen to 1 in 3 women in the U.S. experience domestic violence in her lifetime. Let me see here. Hold on. I'm gonna go back. And 1 in 4 men experience domestic violence. Domestic violence is one of the leading causes of injury for women, more than car accidents and muggings and sexual assault combined. Over 20,000 calls per day are made to domestic violence hotlines nationwide. 50% of female homicide victims are killed by their current or former intimate partner. Black women experience domestic violence at a rate of 30 to 50% higher than white women, and more than 45% of Black women experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. Black survivors are more likely to experience PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress syndrome, and PTSD in war terminology, they used to call it shell shock. And then they even had another name before that, but now they've decided on post-traumatic stress syndrome that soldiers experience. Well, this same experience is experienced by those who are survivors of domestic violence. And think about that, depression and anxiety, but less likely, and they're less likely to receive treatment due to access to barriers and stigma. Support is definitely needed. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about highlights to important survivor voices like Deborra Hill's for the Black community. And so I'm going to click off of this. I think that that's very important that we talk about, because we definitely want to address domestic violence, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that a nation can rise no higher than its woman. And when we beat our women down, we are in essence destroying our own future, because it is through the woman that reproduces ourselves, right? And we go into the future through our woman. There's no other vessel that's going to reproduce you other than a woman. And when you beat your woman, and we got to understand that this type of mentality of beating our woman, some of it is vestiges from slavery. Some of it is what you would call traumatized a traumatized culture, and even epigenetics. And so when we abuse our women, we are in essence destroying our future. And so we have to begin to be conscious, particularly speaking to Black men. We have to be conscious of understanding that our women are our most precious asset. I'm not trying to disrespect by saying asset, but you don't have a greater ally in this struggle than your Black woman. And so today, I'll go ahead and introduce our guest, because today, Knowledge Decipher, we're honored to welcome a woman whose life and work embodies transformation, courage, and purpose. Sister Deborra Hill is an author. She's an entrepreneur and the founder of New Beginnings LLC. Through her books, her coaching, and her advocacy, she inspires others to overcome obstacles and embrace new beginnings and step into lives filled with meaning. Sister Deborah's message is rooted in a powerful truth. Our power does not define our future, and every setback can become a setup for something greater. As a survivor of domestic violence and other life challenges, she has rebuilt her life from the inside out, overcoming fear, self-doubt, adversity through resilience, self-care, and the power of positive thinking. Today, she joins us to talk about healing after trauma, the importance of setting healthy boundaries, and how to maintain a positive mindset that can carry us through even the most difficult seasons of our life. This conversation is about hope, it's about growth, and it's about the strength we all carry within us. And so she'll be joining us in about a few minutes. And so before that, I just want to go into some of the things that you can expect from Knowledge Cipher. So Knowledge Cipher is a program where it's truly a cipher. We want you to be involved in the conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. And then that way, if you want to chime in on anything that we're going to be talking about today, you go right ahead, because we encourage you to be a part of this conversation. And there we go. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is, our health is so very important, brothers and sisters. We have to begin to boost our immune system. And I know that the immune system, many would say, is, it's the lymphatic system. So when I say immune system, I'm talking about a holistic look at the immune system, because the immune system is not just about eating right. The immune system is also about thinking right. It's also about surrounding yourselves with people who are encouraging, inspiring, and motivating. Because when you feel yourself around people who have a negative attitude towards life, they bring your spirit down, and they can absolutely affect and compromise your immune system. There are other things about our immune system that we need to understand. We need to, for instance, breathe properly. A lot of us take really shallow breaths. And, we need to breathe like we did when we were babies. When you was baby, you was like, and that's what you need to do. So just with me, we'll just do this one breathing exercise. I want everyone who is a part of the audience to just breathe in. Just hold it and breathe out. I mean, just that alone, you can feel your spirit, you can feel your body, you can feel the energy flowing through your body, because oxygen is like gasoline to your body. It ignites it. Another thing that we got to realize is that we have to get proper rest and relaxation. A lot of us, we go hard on the pain, as they say, and then we experience burnout, or we just have so much that we're juggling that it becomes a stressor in our life. And when we think about it, stress is really one of the number one killers of Black people. Stress. We live in a society where we have overt aggression, but then we also experience what's called microaggression. And so that's one of the things that we definitely have to realize. So I covered sleeping, and I covered eating properly, breathing properly, relationships, and then there's the other aspects. And all of this I do have in my book, Immunity Empowerment. And you can get that book right on Amazon, Immunity Empowerment. And so when you build your immune system, you're definitely ready to take on the world. And so we're going to go ahead, and our sister should be coming on here any moment now, and we're going to bring her on. Let's see. I think she might be a little delayed. So with that, I'll go ahead and play the commercial for Immunity Empowerment, and hopefully she'll be on and we can get right on into our conversation for today. Check this commercial out. It's one that I put together. And if you need to have any type of social media marketing, contact me.
Are you ready to take control of your health and empower your immune system? Introducing Immunity Empowerment, a comprehensive guide to understanding and enhancing your immune system. For those looking for a holistic method to boost the immune system, Immunity Empowerment is the book for you. Learn how your immune system functions and discover the key to its strength and resilience. From the shadows of slavery to the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, explore the pre-existing conditions that have disproportionately affected the Black community, such as diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. Western medicine often takes a compartmentalized approach, where sometimes the cure can seem worse than the disease. Uncover the implications of Western medications and why they come with side effects. The hope is not lost. Meet the nutritional superheroes, foods, herbs, and vitamins like vitamin C, zinc, garlic, and antioxidants that can supercharge your immune system. Discover the science of fasting and its profound health benefits when done mindfully and safely. Breathing properly, such as diaphragmatic breathing, can have positive effects on your immune system and overall health. Never underestimate the power of a good night's rest. Sleep is crucial for your overall health and immune system. Understand the life-saving power of breastfeeding and its benefits for both mothers and children. Be aware of depopulation and immunity weakening culprits. Learn about the foods that negatively affect your immune system. Sugar, the greatest drug on earth. Discover how it undermines your immune system. The mind-body connection is powerful. Positive thinking can boost your immunity, while negative thoughts can weaken it. Enhance your physical and mental resilience with regular physical activities like walking or yoga, and mental exercises like mindfulness and stress reduction. Never underestimate the power of prayer. It profoundly impacts your well-being by connecting mind, body, and spirit. Healthy relationships are key. Find resources aimed at improving health within the Black community. Escape media madness. Learn how media shapes young minds and how to protect them from harmful images and messages. Explore the impact of alpha waves and mood music on your health and well-being. Cultivate abundance by building your home garden for self-sufficiency and improved well-being. Discover alternative forms of building and maintaining health. Empower your immune system today. Get your copy of Immunity Empowerment and start your journey to better health. Available now, get the softback at Amazon or the ebook with hot links to references and resources at Amazon, Gumroad, and Patreon.
All right. That's immunity empowerment. And like I said, it covers a holistic approach to our health and wellness. And that is really, as a people, what we have to get back to is a holistic approach to our health and wellness, because we know that we live in a toxic society. The society is not only toxic when it comes down to, the food that we eat. It comes down to the water that we drink, and in truth, the air that we breathe. And it's a toxic society just because it is if you look this word up, it's an antisocial society. It's an antisocial society. The European culture is an antisocial culture. And that's why people today are dying of loneliness, because it's an antisocial culture. But our culture is not an antisocial culture. But because we have been, as the scripture says, raised in sin and shaped in iniquity, we many times have the same mindset as our open oppressor. But that is not our culture. Our culture is a culture to where we are more communal. We literally need each other to survive. They did an experiment where they had babies in a crib, and they would not pick up some babies and they would pick up other babies. Well, guess what happened? Even though they were feeding the babies that they did not pick up, those babies literally died because they were not they had no human interaction. And so they say that people are dying in this society of loneliness, and they say that the loneliness is so detrimental that it causes people that is worse than smoking cigarettes. So think about that. That's what type of society that we live in right now. And so we have to, like the great Bob Marley said, we have to recapture our culture. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches that the knowledge of self will build within us the love for self. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that that word love, it's an action word, right? He said you can replace the word love with the word duty. Think about that. That's powerful. You can replace the word love with the word duty. Why? Because anything that you love, you're going to be duty bound by that thing, right? So if you love your children, you know, they say that there is nothing like a mother's love. Well, the only greater love that we can think of that's greater than the mother's love is the love that the Supreme Being has for us, his children, and we are his children. So a mother's love, there's nothing that a mother won't do for her child. There are even instances where a mother, I remember hearing a story where a bear grabbed the a baby, the mother's baby. And don't you know that mother, there's no fear that that mother had of that bear when she saw that bear, that baby, her baby, in that bear's mouth. And she went and fought that bear. And don't you know that that bear put that baby down and she saved her baby? There are other incidents where a person is trapped under a car. Literally, I'm not lying to you. And an individual had adrenaline rush, and they were able to lift the car enough to save that individual. And that's the type of love that we need to once again establish within our community. Man, I was just listening yesterday to some old Public Enemy, and I'm telling you, it's a shame that the artists today are so compromised by the system, because the system understands that music, as far as culture is concerned, that music is one of the number one drivers of mindset, of revolution. And so they've captured our artists, as Amos Wilson said, they've captured our drums, and they're driving their sick, divisive message in on our drums. And we have to recapture our culture. And so, with that, if you want to chime in, like I said, let me see. Yes, yes. And so we're waiting on the question was, is a sister coming on? And yes, waiting on our sister to chime in. We went through the process yesterday, and we made sure that everything worked out right. But as you always know, that there are always technical difficulties. So hopefully our sister will be on here in a few minutes. But I'll just go on with just talking about what we need to do as a people. One of the things that we're doing here in Dayton, and I'll show you, is a young sister named Rakia Woods. Myself and others, we came together and we put together what is called a code of conduct. We're calling it the New Black Codes. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, man, the Black Codes were introduced by whites after we came out of slavery to, in essence, put us right back into slavery. That's correct. And that's why we're naming it the New Black Codes, because we are not going to allow the system to control the word black, for number one, because the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the word black, or not the word black, but black itself, is the essence from which all things come out of. He said that Allah, God, created himself out of triple stage darkness, and that he loved the womb, the black womb from which he came out of, so much. Think about this, so much that everything that comes into the universe has to come out of black. If you're a mother, you know that your baby is in the darkness of your womb. if you have a seed, and we should all be planting food in our backyard. If you don't have a yard, then you should be putting together in your home a vertical garden, grow food. And then if you're in an apartment complex, get with those in that complex, have them grow. You grow tomatoes and let this person grow beans or something like that. Because I'm telling you, and I have another organization that I would love for you to check out called Refuge Depot, and it's all about what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches is that America is about to experience, and not just America, but the world is about to experience a famine unlike any other that has been seen or written of in the history of man. Okay, so we all need to get prepared for this famine, and we can already hear about it from the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, when the fertilizer that the farmers need to grow food, and I think it's past the point that they needed that fertilizer. And even if they do get that fertilizer, they still are going to have a smaller harvest. A smaller harvest then translate to more food inflation. So even if you're able to get food, it's going to be expensive. So I just wanted to drop that in on you. That's refugedepot.com. But the shirt is the new black codes. And like I said, black is even the seed you have to drop into black mud, not white sand. It won't grow, right? Even the cartoons, they would be thinking, and a light would come on, but it would come out of the dark recesses of their mind. So black is beautiful, right? And code is just another way of saying culture. As I said, we need to recapture our culture, because a culture is a way that people relate to each other. It's a way of people solving problems. And the problem with our culture today is it was shaped out of trauma. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'll just show you this shirt. And I see our sister is in the back, and we're going to go ahead and bring her on. This is a beautiful design that we came together and put together, and I'll explain it to you on another program. And on the back are the codes that we're asking our community to structure their life by, because the codes cut across gender, class, it cuts across there's no reason why you would reject the codes, because the codes are nothing but beneficial, and it's a win-win situation for our community. So with that, we did introduce our sister, so I'm going to go ahead and bring her on. Please, let me see here. I think, hold on for a second, because I think I got on this where we can give our sister a round of applause. Let's see if we can do that. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Here we go. Media assets. Here we go. And let us go ahead and bring on our sister Deborra. Yeah. Greetings, sister. How are you doing?
I'm terrific. How are you?
Well, now that I see your face, I'm terrific.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. And I really appreciate you accepting our invitation to come on to the program and to share
Absolutely.
your experience of, it's something to open up. I think they say confession is good for the soul. It's good for the soul, for the
Absolutely.
individual, and it's also good for those who may be going through that same experience, to see how you were able to overcome what you had to overcome.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's get right on into it. Can you share what inspired you to create New Beginnings LLC, and how your personal journey shaped your mission?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um,
Thank you.
th- yes. Well, what inspired me was a new beginning.
Yes.
Actually, I was separated about a year, well, 2 years ago now. It's been 2 years. Oh my God, time is flying.
Yes, it does.
And yes, in that time, you find a lot that you don't know that you have,
Mm,
and you dig deep. From
absolutely.
I listen to you talk about loneliness, and I'm like, but you can find yourself in loneliness too. So
There you
loneliness
go.
actually can be rewarding as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because in that time frame, I've written books, I've started this business, I've done things that I didn't even think that I would do. And
Mm.
all of that came out of being lonely and starting over, having a new beginning. So
Absolutely.
that was
I
my inspiration.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you on that. I think, the aspect of loneliness that I'm definitely talking about is when you just don't have anybody and you can't reach out to anybody.
Right.
However, what you're saying, I agree to, because I remember during COVID, you weren't really able to go outside your home, and a
Right.
lot of people had to go within. And a
Right.
lot of Black businesses developed out of us
Lives.
not having to go out and live that
Mm-hmm.
rat race. And so I
Mm-hmm.
definitely agree. I definitely understand what you're saying. Thank you for that point.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Man, I almost want to just stick on that loneliness point because that is important for us to really introspect.
It is.
um I'm conducting right now an interview with you, but if we really break that down, we're talking about an inner view of you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
Right.
beautiful.
Digging
uh,
deep.
yes, yes. So when you talk about new beginnings, what does that mean to you personally?
Wow. A lot. So I'll
Okay.
try not to get emotional,
Yes, go
but
ahead.
starting over after 14 years,
Mm,
um, just been through a lot, just so starting over at 54 and starting
mm.
new everything. I mean, living alone, raising a child alone, not having a job, just everything. New beginnings. Say
New beginnings.
absolutely.
You,
Absolutely.
you know, new beginnings, when we think about new beginnings, this is one of the things really that I'm talking about when I say that Black people, we need to recapture our culture. One
Right.
of the things that we have within our culture is the rights. We used to have what's called the rites of passage, where
Mhm.
young men and young women would have to go through a process to really understand that they were entering into manhood or
Mhm.
womanhood. But in this
Right.
Western European culture, we have really no idea of what a man's responsibility is towards a woman or what a woman's
Right.
responsibility is towards a man. And that brings us really to one of the things that you talk about,
Mhm.
which is domestic violence. When we don't understand our roles, um and this is not saying that this is the cause of it, but this is just saying that this is one aspect of it, that when we
Right.
don't understand our roles, become frustrated. And sometimes in that frustration, since we can't take it out on what they used to call back in the day the man, right,
Right.
we take it out on, if it's a man, our woman. If it's a woman, maybe our children. You know what I mean? If it's our children,
Usually
maybe their
people
pet.
closest to us. Usually
Right.
anyone or anyone that's closest to us, usually anyone in that vicinity, they feel that wrath. Yeah.
Hmm. And if you can talk just a little bit about us, about your survive how you survive domestic violence and other major life challenges that you've overcome.
Okay. Well, my domestic violence happened in my early 20s. Um, a boyfriend that I had that ended up being one of my children's fathers. If
Yeah.
anyone is, and at this point, I don't care if anyone gets upset. This is my story. But Yeah, he wasn't the
Mhm.
best. He might be okay person now, but back then he was not. Uh, he
Right.
was pretty violent. He would get angry. He would get very frustrated, and he took that frustration out on me.
Right.
But once I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter, I didn't want her to see me go through that. And then not to mention, I saw my mom go through it. So
Yeah.
that I definitely wanted to break that curse. I didn't want that to continue. So
Right.
that was
Absolutely.
pretty much what was the inspiration, just knowing that I didn't want my daughter to see what I've seen.
Right.
And a lot of women go through that. It's a cycle. Someone has to break that cycle.
So the thing, it sounds like your audio might be breaking up just a little bit. I'm not sure what that might be. Um,
I have a
let
little
me see.
static on my end too. I've been trying. I don't know what it is either.
Yeah, the audio is breaking up just a little bit. I don't know if let me see here. Because I thought it was my headphones, but it sounds like try to say something one more time. Let's see.
Hello, can you hear me now? Say, feel like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
rising. Can you hear me now?
Right, right. Okay, okay. It is breaking up just a little bit. I'm not sure what the cause of that is because as you know, we ran through it yesterday and it was fine. So what we'll try to
Right.
do, hopefully
No.
it'll clear up. Maybe do this, see if maybe you can log off and then log back on, and then we'll see if that clears up the audio. Is that okay?
I couldn't even hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Uh, uh, see if you can hold on, see if you can log off and then log back on and see if that might clear up the audio issue. Okay, and
Okay.
then all right then, okay, we'll see you here back here in a second. All right, brothers and sisters, we're going to just see if we can get a better audio feed, because before we get into this, we definitely ride it's breaking up, and so we definitely want to hear definitely what our sister has to say. So let's see if we can get her logged off and logged back on, and I'll wait and see if she comes back on and we'll go from there. So once again, we're talking to our sister. She's written a powerful book, and I'll go ahead and put that up on the screen. Let's see here. And yes, she's written a powerful book. And as you can see, if you go on to Amazon, you can see her books here on Amazon. She's quite the prolific writer, as you can see. And today we're going to be talking about this book here. Yes, Unshakable, the power of resilience and positive thinking. Choose yourself first. And this is a beautiful message because it's difficult for us to have positive thinking in this day and time. It's very difficult for us to think on a positive level because there are so many obstacles that we have to overcome. And once again, one of the things that we definitely have to begin to realize is that we do a lot better when we overcome them together. And so one of that is a process that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan admonished us to begin to take part in, and that's the 8 steps of atonement, because we've all done wrong, not only to others, but we've done wrong to ourselves. And so, first, we have to, of course, recognize that we've done wrong and to point out that wrong. And so I won't go through all the 8 steps, but I'll just say that, as we come together, we do have to begin to rise above emotion into the thinking of God so that we can begin to atone and reconciliate. When they had the Hutus and the Tutsis, and that whole massacre that took place in Africa, they had to go through a process of atonement and reconciliation to bring that community back together. And it's a long process, but it's a process that has to take place. And I think we have our sister backstage again. So we're going to go ahead and bring her on. Yes. And hopefully, how do you go ahead?
I think it sounds better. I think
Oh,
I figured
there
out
you
the
go.
issue. Spectrum.
You sound terrific. You sound terrific. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
We would
you.
so let's go ahead. We'll get back into our conversation with you. We're going to be talking, let's talk about resilience and overcoming trauma. First of
Mhm.
all, can you explain from your understanding and definition what trauma is?
Mm. Well, trauma is really rooted. Say we have trauma from a really early age. A lot of times, trauma is passed down from generation to generation, and we don't even know that we're dealing with trauma.
Right.
Um, Say, unfortunately, in our culture, it's been inherited.
Yes. Right.
So we don't even recognize it most of the time, but it's there in pretty much everything. And um, things that we do to people, things that we say can be traumatic, experiences that we have with people that we hurt, that we don't know that we hurt them. Um, Trauma, it's deep. It's deep.
Right.
It can, it can actually, it can be the root of a lot of issues that people go through. And we don't even usually know that that's what we're dealing with, but it's usually just how we handle what we go through. And
Right. And one of the things that like you talk about is, trauma. They say, I think it's sociologists or psychologists say that, after 4 generations of trauma, of really acting out that trauma experience, it
mhm,
becomes normalized, right?
mhm, mhm,
So, for instance, as we're talking today, it may be a situation where individuals have in their family history domestic violence,
mhm,
and so that it becomes to some degree passed down and
right.
normalized to where the individual doesn't even recognize that what they're doing is domestic violence. And
Mhm,
I'll give you like a situation where I interviewed felons with the future, and Sister Terry Sims talked about a young man who grew up in an environment, I think, where his mother was in a crack house.
mhm,
And so that abuse that he saw her suffer, he then translated into uh abusing his woman, but not as severely as his mother was abused, and he thought that that was not domestic violence. See?
right.
And so it's like,
It was the
these type of
norm.
go ahead.
It was the norm. He thought it was the norm.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a kind of learned behavior in a way because you kind of grow up seeing something and you kind of proceed and continue the pattern that you see growing up, not
Right.
knowing that it was wrong, but because most of the time we think what our parents do is right, but
Right.
sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not. That learned behavior needs to be unlearned.
Right, right. As they say, that generational curse needs
Hmm.
broken,
Absolutely.
and you're absolutely right. So when it comes down to when it comes down to breaking that generational curse, or that traumatic behavior that we've normalized, what are
Mm-hmm.
some of, I guess, the steps that uh, an individual should take, not just on the side of the abuser or the predator, but also
Mm-hmm.
on the side of the victim? Because sometimes, you know, sometimes the victim can also be caught in that pattern of
Mm-hmm.
finding that same dude that does the same the same thing.
Ooh wee. I call
Mm,
that changing faces.
mm,
That's what
right.
I call that. You find the same person but just a different face and still have the
Mm,
same issues. First, you have to recognize the issue. You can't fix anything or change anything if you don't recognize the issue to begin with. So you have to first acknowledge the issue and know that there is an issue before you can even do anything about it.
mm-hmm.
So the first step is acknowledgement.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Understanding that it is even an issue,
Right.
because then, like you said, we then begin to produce children, and then our children, grow up in that type of environment. And
Hmm.
then, as you say, sometimes a child is able to see that that's not a normal, a normal behavior, like maybe
Right.
smoking, and you see a child will not touch a cigarette or will not touch drugs or
Right.
alcohol,
Right.
because they see that behavior was destructive. Unfortunately, there are, of course, some of the children who see that, and then they grow up and take on those same type of behaviors, and
Hmm.
then they don't understand how destructive that is towards in their relationship with their
Right.
significant other.
Right.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so you've survived domestic violence and other life challenges, as we say. What was the turning point where you decided to reclaim your life?
Well, my daughter, my daughter,
Okay.
knowing
Yeah.
that I was having a daughter, first off, just knowing that I was having a girl, that I don't know, that just woke something up in me. It's like, oh no, I can't let her go through or even see what I saw
Mm,
as a child growing up. I saw my mom in a domestic violence relationship with my dad, and I didn't want my daughter to see that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I had to remove myself from that situation.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
saying, in all the years of her life, she has yet to ever see any man put their hands on me,
Mm-hmm.
and she
Yeah.
won't.
Right. I know that's right. Beautiful. That's something about children, how they just change your whole perspective on
Hmm.
life. Uh, uh,
Absolutely.
Many people who don't have children, are not as mindful of the environment in which they live. So they'll
Mhm.
litter, or they'll be reckless in their life.
Right.
But then when you have a child, that turns a switch.
It does. It changes your perspective on a lot of things. How you
Mm-hmm.
see life, how you see people, how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yeah. How you see the world,
Hmm.
and the world that your child is going to grow up in.
Hmm.
And it
It
just
make you
make
want to change it as well.
absolutely, absolutely. So that is, yeah, that's one of the things that I think before you came on, I don't know if you heard me, and I was saying, as far as a mother's love,
Hmm.
and there's nothing, that competes with a mother's love except for the love of
Mm-mm.
God.
Oh
That
yeah.
would be the only thing that
Yeah.
that
Don't
supersedes a
make
mother's
mama bear
love.
mad. Don't do it.
Right, right, exactly. What does resilience look like in real everyday life? Not just the big moments, but in the small moments as well.
Keep going. Not
Mm-hmm.
giving up.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Not accepting anything less. It's like no matter what it is, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna stop. I know I have to keep going. I have people depending on me, and
Hmm.
I have to depend on me. So that's what it looks like for me every day. No matter
Yeah.
what goes on around me, I keep moving. No matter what, I get up,
Hmm.
I show up and show out.
Right, right, absolutely. And so when you talk about um, that process of being resilient, bouncing back,
Mhm.
what steps should an individual take, especially since we're talking about domestic violence? What steps should a woman or even a man, for that fact, take to get themselves back on track, if you will?
Well, the first thing is knowing that it wasn't your fault
Mm,
and you didn't make anyone do that to you. And you're not responsible for someone else's behavior. A lot of times we think that, what did I do to make them do that to me?
hmm.
And it must be something in me that I keep making people want to hurt me.
Hmm.
Why do they want to hurt me? What did I do that they want to hurt me? But
Mm,
it's not you. It's usually that person's issue. It's not you ever. It's never you.
hmm. Hmm.
And I think once you realize that, that's the next step, is to realize it's not your fault and you didn't do this to yourself, and you got to keep going, because you just have to.
Hmm.
It's not an option. It's not an option.
Right.
I don't think of keep going, or I in my mind I think never give up. That's all I
Hmm.
see, is never give up, never give up, never give up. And that's
Correct.
kind of how I built resilience, is because no matter what is going on, that's always in the back of my mind, never give up. I
Right.
just can't. It's not an option. It's not
Not
an
an
option.
option. Right.
Mm-mm.
Hmm. As
Can't let it
far
be.
as Yeah, as far as maybe seeking some type of therapy, mental health
Hmm.
therapy, or otherwise,
Hmm.
what would you
Oh,
suggest?
absolutely. I
Hmm.
think say, now this is going to sound a little strange, but I think every person needs therapy at least
Every
once or
person.
twice, maybe multiple times in their life. Just to have someone, an outlet, someone to talk to, someone to bounce ideas off of, someone to let you know that what you're thinking is okay.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with you. You're okay. And it's your feelings are valid.
Right.
And it's nice to have someone kind of give you that reassurance, especially
Hmm.
after coming out of a relationship, or any type of relationship where you feel like you've been abused.
Right.
It's nice to have someone actually, be in your corner, and you can see that they're actually for you and they're not
Right.
against you.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that, like I say, that as a people, we need to begin. It's healing season. We need to begin
Hmm.
that process of and all of us need to go through that process.
Hmm.
There's not none of if we're born in America,
Hmm.
to some degree, all of us
Hmm.
have that little tag said "Made in America."
Hmm.
And
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my favorite sayings that I get a lot of pushback on is, I think every adult is a traumatized child.
absolutely.
And until we deal with that, that's when real healing starts. We have to actually acknowledge that and deal with that and be like, okay, something happened. What was it? And what shaped me to be the person that I am? And
Yeah.
what shaped me to look at things the way that I look at them?
Hmm.
And I think once you kind of realize that, and you can kind of zero in on that, that kind of starts the process.
Right. And I think, that's a heavy word, shaped, because that's just what happens.
Hmm.
We're shaped, and we're not shaped as far as maybe our physical features or whatever,
Right.
but we're shaped as far as our how we look at the world, how we perceive
Hmm.
reality, and how we interact with others. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
And to some degree, there is a degree of shame.
Hmm.
Like you said, it's an unfounded shame, because it's not your fault that you were
Right.
abused. Really, it's on the perpetrator, that
Correct.
should be embarrassed because of their actions. So
Right.
sometimes an individual may not get that therapy that they need because they feel a sense of shame. What would you say to that?
S- Don't
Mhm,
get that help, because
mhm,
all they do is they'll keep repeating that same pattern
mm,
until they actually get that help.
mhm.
So they definitely shouldn't feel shame. They should, if they know they have a problem, they should definitely seek help, and
Right.
definitely not be ashamed to seek help.
Right, absolutely. Because, that shame and not seeking help, what happens is over time, it's like something like a ghost, or like they say, a monkey on your back.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's something, once again, that it's not your fault. You know what I mean? However, what becomes your fault is you not seeking the help that you need to bring about healing within
Right.
your own life.
Right.
Because what happens is that because you don't have healing within your own life, then you begin to injure others
Right.
unknowingly. you know,
Absolutely.
you know
We
what
should leave people better than we found them.
right. Right. There's that old saying that hurt people hurt
Hurt
people.
people.
You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And this is absolutely true.
Or I
Okay.
got a new one. Hurt
Yes.
people can heal people.
Okay. Yes. And that's what we're hopefully, God willing, doing today. Right.
Absolutely.
It's because we
Absolutely.
we can turn our trauma into triumph. Right.
Absolutely.
I wonder if I brought that shirt, but we have a campaign called Pain to Power.
Mm,
Together
love
we
that.
rise.
Love that.
And this is what we're definitely talking about today. So we'll go ahead and get into it, because I know we've been on for the program's been on for about an hour. It
Okay.
says you talk a lot about mindset. how
Hmm.
did how did positive thinking help you rebuild your life?
Oh, just changing the way you see things, the way you think. Instead of, I don't know if you ever, I know everybody has heard of it. Either it's half empty or half full.
Hmm.
And a lot of times I think people get stuck in the, oh, it's half empty, it's half empty, it's half empty. And you get stuck in that mindset that it's half empty. And it's like just stuck. You're stuck.
Mm,
And you
mm,
don't see the positivity in anything because you're thinking, oh, it's almost gone. Everything is happening to me. It's all, everything in life, all the stress. Stress is just how we handle things.
mhm.
It's really how we deal with whatever is going on around us, which there's always something going on around us. It's like
Always,
life be life in, like
especially today.
every day,
Mm,
every day.
mhm,
So it's just a matter of how we deal with what we're faced with.
mhm.
It's like, even though things may not look the best, find the lesson in it. Find the
Right,
lesson or the blessing.
absolutely. And so I wanted to ask you, what does self-care look like for you now, and how did that evolve over time?
Mm. Well, say for me, I always found myself doing for everybody, and I would usually put myself last. Like,
Hmm.
literally, I would fix food for everyone. A lot of times I wouldn't get nothing to eat because
Hmm.
it might not be nothing left by the time you get to me, because I've actually done it for everybody else. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I fixed all that and I didn't get none. And then I'm sitting there feeling upset and depleted, but it's not everybody else's fault. It's my fault because I should have made sure that I took mine first because I fixed it.
Right.
So that's kind of what I start practicing with everything. It's like you got to take care of yourself first before you pour into others, because you
Mm,
can't pour from an empty cup. You can't. You just
right.
can't.
Yeah. I mean, that's an excellent way to look at it, because in truth, a lot of us, we do a lot of things for others out of whatever reason. And what we find out sometimes is that when we even, do things for others, even within our own community, there's not
Mhm.
that reciprocation, which means that love that we show doesn't
Mm-mm.
come back to us. And sometimes we're even upset, but not
Mhm.
even realizing that this person is not going to think of me more than I think of myself. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
we can't, like you said, you can't help others until you help self first.
Mhm.
Once you can get yourself in a position to where you are, and this is what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was talking about, until you get yourself into a position to where you're able to maintain and sustain your life, you really
Right.
can't, help others to do that same thing.
Absolutely. Can't pour from an empty cup. You can't. Just can't do it. It's not possible. Nothing's coming out.
Absolutely. And so what advice would you give to someone who is who is trying to heal while still navigating a difficult season in their life?
Mm, okay. Put yourself first. Love on you. Just
Mhm.
love on yourself. Love yourself the way you love others.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know, I think that's what we forget to do a lot of times. We don't love people. We love people, but we don't love ourselves as much as we love others.
Hmm.
And I think if we love ourselves the way we love others, we can't go wrong.
Hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That love for self, it starts right there, doesn't it? This whole
Mhm,
thing starts with the love for self.
mhm,
When you get yourself into a situation where someone is abusing you,
mhm,
someone is neglecting you, which is also a form
mhm.
of abuse.
Physical,
Um,
mental.
yeah, physical,
Mhm,
mental, that's right. It doesn't just have to be where you have a black eye or where you have a bruise. Your psyche can be bruised. The way that you uh feel about yourself can also be compromised. So
uh-uh,
so
uh-uh.
I think you froze up for a second.
Am I back?
Not yet.
I'm sorry. I had a call come in. I
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, okay. I know how that is. Right. So it should, hopefully it'll unfreeze here in a few. So what I'll do is, while it unfreezes, I want to show a question, and it's asking, what area of healing are you currently focused on? So let me go ahead and put that on there. And for those who um want to take part in that poll, go right ahead. What area are you, let me see what says, are you currently focused on? Yep. And so we'll go that, and let's go ahead, we'll take that on off. Okay, there we go.
all right. I
Yes.
had to log off and log back on.
Okay, good. I'm glad you were able to do that though. And
All right.
so, and as we begin to close this out,
Hello, Pamela. That's my best friend right there.
oh yeah, that's good. That's good. And what does she say? She says, yes, self-care is a must to move
Absolutely.
forward. And it really is a must.
And so are friends. Friends too. If you got good friends, there's nothing like good friends. When you're going through something rough, just being able to have friends to lean on. It's a must.
Mhm.
It's
That's
a
right.
necessity. It's a
Mhm.
necessity. Get you a circle, find you a girls group, find you a guys group, have fellowship, have
Mhm.
people that you can talk to, that like-minded people that you can bounce ideas off of and just share with. I think a lot of times we're ashamed to share with others.
Mhm.
People don't.
Absolutely.
Everybody's so private nowadays,
Mhm.
and a lot of times we're going through stuff by ourselves and wonder why nobody is helping you because you're not sharing. You're not sharing that you're
Right.
going through anything. Nobody knows what you're going through if you don't tell nobody. People can't read your mind. You have
Hmm.
to open up and let people know that you need help, or that you're struggling, or you're stressed.
Hmm.
Delegate those tasks. Give some of those tasks to other people. Let people help you.
Hmm.
And I think
Absolutely.
a lot of times we have huge egos. We don't want to let people help us.
Right.
And that
Hmm.
just leads to disaster, destructive self-thoughts, and all types of negative thinking. You got to have sometimes people to even pull you out of that. Sometimes if you feel like you got a negative thought coming in, if you got a girlfriend or a guy friend or somebody, you'd be like, I'm not feeling this today. And they'd be like, what's wrong with you? And it's just nice to have somebody kind of talk you out of stuff when you might be like, not quite right. It's good.
That's right. And one of the things that we have to recognize in a friend is sometimes a friend might have constructive criticism, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes, like you said, what we have to do is we have to take that heart off our sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to rise above emotion, and we have to
Mm-hmm.
really, instead of being upset and angry that they pointed out what we really know in our being is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go to our quiet place, you know
Right.
and meditate on that, and then, like you say, begin to make a change. Now
Right.
there are those who are around us who have not constructive but destructive.
Right.
They say negative things that just
Right.
really, for some reason, they want to keep you
Oh
in that
yeah.
low state of
Vibration.
condition. I think because
Mm-hmm.
there's another saying that misery
Loves
loves
company.
company. Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to learn to remove yourself from those type people. We are alert and aware enough to know and recognize when you see somebody who's just always negative.
Right.
We know, everybody knows those people. That's
Spirit
just,
killers.
or Debbie Downers. That's what
They'll
I.
be down. Right.
It's like
I
you
know
just,
people with the
or
names
negative
Debbie
mix.
and Karen. I know they're like, man,
I'm
why my mama have to name me that?
right. Well, my name is Debbie, so that's why it's like Debbie Downers. I'm like, but I'm not one. I try to be positive every day
Right. Right. And
because
one of the things that I say, a part of this campaign for the new Black codes is for us as Black people to break these silos
Mhm.
that we're in, and to just, especially our elders, to our young people,
Right.
because we have been conditioned to fear our young people, to see our young people as predators, and they're not that. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? The
They just
truth
need
is,
guidance and love.
and they're looking for it.
Hmm.
And the elders, because they have been programmed by the media, or by these external forces, they don't let the young person know in a very loving way. Don't go
Right.
to the young person and tell them you look like a mess. You don't want to
Right.
be positive.
Right.
Approach
Everything
them
should
with
come from a
something.
place of love.
Approach the young person with something positive, and then on riding on that, and say, you know I think that if you do this or that, you could really it could really benefit you, but just try to keep it
Right.
on a positive level, to where you're
Right.
not actually instructing them, you need to do, that
Right.
type of stuff. No one wants
Mm-mm.
to be approached like that.
Right. And they usually run the opposite direction.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. Because once again, we all have that ego. You know what I
Right.
mean? And no one wants to feel belittled. You
Mm-mm.
know,
At all.
no one. So, well, I definitely would love to have you back on again.
I would love
Um,
to, especially
yes,
since
and
we had so many technical issues.
yes, we did have a few technical issues, but you know what? the thing is that we trusted in the Lord and we
Absolutely. Made it through. Made it
we
through.
made it through. And
To
that's what
say
we got to do though.
and didn't get stressed.
Yes, I sweated a little bit. I did.
I
I
I
brought
did
out the
not.
sweat
I did not.
towel
I knew it was gonna
and
work
wiped
out.
away. I think right, because I definitely wanted to, to have you on here and to have this conversation with you. And I absolutely enjoyed, our conversation on
Thank
this
you.
subject and look forward to having you back on again. And
Thank you.
hopefully,
Would love
yes.
that.
Well, all right. And I'll go ahead and close this out real quick. And if you could hold back for a few and
Okay.
we'll close out.
All right.
And so thank you once again, brothers and sisters, for tuning in to Knowledge for Life's podcast. This is something that we're introducing, reestablishing as this podcast that is dealing with our health and our wellness from a holistic approach, not from a Western approach, because a Western approach looks at our health from a compartmentalized approach. I'm hoping I'm saying that right? So they focus on a certain area and they may treat that area, but not understanding, brothers and sisters, that you can't treat an area without treating the whole. Because what happens is, in Western medicine, for instance, they will give you a prescription. And what that prescription comes with is what's called side effects. Because what happens is they're only treating a certain area, they're only treating a certain symptom. And because they're only treating that symptom, it throws off everything else. And this has to do with not just medicine, but this has to do with life in general. And we're wondering why our life is so thrown off. And that's why I said we need to dump the Western culture. We need to dump the Western culture and we need to embrace once again our culture, find out once again who we are as a people, and understand this, that we are brothers and sisters. We may not have the same father, but as they say, we are the brothers and sisters from the Most High. I'm stumbling to get it out, but that's what we need to do. So with that, go to our website, check us out, knowforlife.net. Please like and share and follow us on YouTube and all of our social media platforms. You can actually go to Linktree and just type in, once again, Know for Life, KNOW, the number 4 LIFE, and you will find all of our social media platforms and our merchandise on that website. So with that, may God continue to bless you and your family with the light of truth. Assalamu alaikum.